It's the Al Travis Show, and we're starting a brand new deal. I'm very excited about it. It is Talking Survivor with Survivor Brenda. Brenda, how are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How about you?
Good. I am very glad. I'm so happy you're here. We should probably tell people the backstory. First off, I have been watching Survivor since the beginning. I do not know that I've missed an episode, and they're on their 50th one, 25 years worth. They do 2 a year. I don't think I missed one. What would be your credentials on Survivor? How much are you into it?
We watch it faithfully.
Yeah.
We've also watched all the seasons.
See,
So,
yeah, but do you consider yourself what they call them, like mega fans or whatever? I watch them all, but I don't like memorize them all. And then when you see somebody and it's like, oh, I remember him, but I couldn't remember name. Are you like that person who remembers Bob's found that thing in the third episode? I'm not that guy.
not quite there,
Okay.
but I do recollect a lot of the players. In fact, this year, some of them stick out more than others.
Oh, absolutely. And we're going to talk about that. Let's talk about this. Just so folks know, Brenda is the wife of a very good friend of mine. And so we've known each other 10 or 12 years. I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah.
And I didn't know you were a Survivor super fan until we went, and folks, you know this, I suppose, we went to the Chanhassen. And we watched the Love Letters thing with Don Shelby and Nancy Nelson. And so a guy's got to talk for 2.5 hours up there, right? And then coming back. And I found out you and your husband are super fans, and that's why I asked you to come on, because I'm excited about this year. The 50th one's going to be big, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's bust it down a little bit. So the first show starts, and first off, they kickstart a 3-hour special. I saw that. I'm like, oh, yeah, baby. This is going to be, take the entire day. Let's just do this. Did you like the premise of the show, bringing back people from all the generations of the show? Did you like the premise of that?
I do to an extent. I think Siri playing 5 times already, I kind of thought that was a little much. I think
Overplayed.
Other players maybe could have played twice instead of 5 times. But
that's a good point. They really do like her. I would also say that if you've watched from the beginning, this game is so much different than when it started, right? As far as people now just lie to your face. There was the naked guy who won the first one, right? Richard?
Yes.
Richard? The naked guy.
Yes.
The game they play now is 100% different than when Richard was in it. So I think those early people are going to have a distinct disadvantage, wouldn't you think?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know that I enjoyed the setup of that, but maybe you get to we'll talk about the characters as we go. Some of them coming back did jar some really cool memories, like that, was it Cody? He was a favorite of mine. That cowboy guy?
Colby.
Colby. I really liked him, and I completely forgot about him until he showed back up on this show, and was like, oh, I like Colby. He was good. So there was some of that. Then they bring him onto the beach, as they always do, and then Jeff gives the big rah-rah and gets a little something from everybody. And he mentions the fact that this one's going to be different than all others. He said that 49 other times, by the way. But he said that the fans were going to vote on the big stuff in this. I instantly didn't like that. Your thoughts on letting the fans take control? Because I don't know. I like what we've got.
Well, the certain challenges I think that the fans are going to choose are going to be the most difficult ones, in my opinion. But I like how they're choosing if they get rice or.
See, but we're going to talk about how hardcore you are. Because the beginning, you didn't get anything. They let you starve to death practically beforehand. Now they got the news show, and you have to you get a little hungry, but I don't think remember the first couple shows, they'd show people losing 50, 60 pounds in the 30 days or whatever. I mean, it was horrible. Yeah. Are you okay with that? Because that was the first vote. If you haven't caught up yet, by the way, there's another one tonight. You better be watching.
Well,
the fans voted
players.
And said, yeah, well, seasons player, but you were 25 years ago when you were on. I think your seasoning might be dulled. But the point being is they said no to the rice. Go earn your rice.
Yeah.
You smile. You seem happy with that. You're hardcore, aren't you?
I am. I think, they know that they have to go out and get their food, and survive. They got to create their legacy, and they're not going to do that just getting their rice in a bag.
Okay, so the other one is about idols, and I'm okay. The rice thing, I think starving people to death is even more than I want to do, but okay, so they do that. The other one is the idol deal. When they talk about, idols, we're going to have the idols and that sort of thing. If they let Al run things, and right now, every time an idol comes out of the game, they hide it again, right? I mean, every time it's just this. I would not tell him I'm not putting him back out, so that they spend their entire time looking for idols out there that aren't there. That's how mean I am. You know what I'm saying? I've just seen pictures of these people looking for idols.
That is kind of mean.
I know. I'm not saying I'm innocent here. I'd like them to be well fed so they can scurry around the island just looking for stuff. So there are going to be idols, and they've already found some. Yeah. So let's talk the cast. Well, before we even get to 50th, when you do 50 of these, do you think you know enough about the show to fill us in? Where do they go to the bathroom? How does bathrooms? They don't just let 25 people roam around and diddle and doodle all over the place. Do you think they have like porta potties? They must.
I don't know. It makes me wonder, because one of the gals showed the leaf and being able to wipe with that.
Yeah.
But sometimes, when they go to tribal council, their hair doesn't look like it's not been washed.
Yeah. And again, how much can you wash in the ocean? So I wonder a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Do cameramen, I mean, they have 24 on the island now, or 23. Do they have 23 camera guys? So every time these guys go off on their own, they're being filmed constantly. There can't be that many humans just sitting in that area.
I think there's a fair amount of camera people because they got to capture those moments that they have.
Yeah, that's true. Do you have other things I wonder about? Remember when they first started? I think the first one with the naked guy was on an island, but then they tried going different places. Like the worst survivor ever. I'm asking your opinion. Was it not the one in like the deserts of Africa where they're just trying not to get eaten up by like saber-toothed tigers and they just hidden? I thought that was the most boring one of all of them.
Yeah, that was kind of a dangerous one. You know,
they were just trying not to get eaten. That was like the whole show. Are they going to survive? So now they're back to almost always using the same kind of island setup. Do you like that better or worse, or would you like to see some difference in just the terrain?
Oh, I like the island.
See, so do I. You get a lot of bikini-clad young ladies that are in there. I do, too. I think the island gives you everything you need.
Well, not just the women, but the men in their underwear.
Oh, yeah. That's, okay. If we're going to improve Survivor, you and I, shouldn't they get a sponsor like, I don't know, Adidas or Nike that would create wear that you wear on an island for 24 days?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the underwear, but
well, me neither. And then you get some guy, large guy like myself, goes on, lose 60 pounds, and he's just trying to keep his shorts up now because he's 3 sizes. It's not a great look for the show. I would agree. I think I'd change it. Anything you change in the program? How would you change it?
No, I always like the element of surprise, what they're going to do next.
All right, fair enough. Let's go to break. When we come back, we'll bust down some of the characters and how you think the first 3 hours went. It was such a great opener. We'll talk more. I've got Survivor Brenda on the Al Travis Show.
When the stakes are high at the Minnesota Capitol, you need more than a lobbyist. You need a partner. At Momentum Advocacy, we bring nearly 90 years of combined experience in government relations, public affairs, and strategic communications. From nonprofits to national corporations, we help organizations navigate Minnesota's political landscape with integrity, insight, and results. Whether you need legislative champions or headlines, Momentum Advocacy delivers. For more, visit momentum-advocacy.com. Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol.
Think about it. A famous politician once said, "You're entitled to your opinion, but you are not entitled to your own facts." But in a world full of AI and fake news, where can Minnesotans find the facts? Center of the American Experiment is Minnesota's go-to source for fact-based analysis and common sense solutions for taxes, energy, public safety, and our kids' education. Visit AmericanExperiment.org for more information. Think About It is brought to you by Center of the American Experiment, Minnesota's think tank.
kidding me?
You know that comment you said to the radio? The thing that we got wrong?
Clearly, Brussels sprouts are the worst vegetable.
Call us and let the world know your thoughts. 855-257-7469. That's 855-ALS Show.
We've got our Survivor, Brenda, on the Al Travis Show. Very excited to talk about Survivor 50. So, Brenda, let's discuss the show that we actually saw when they came out with the 24 guests, 24 players. Any of them strike you as, oh, I can't wait, or that's great? I know you didn't think Cerie should be there, which I'm with you 100%.
Well, I always liked Ozzy,
Yeah.
but I remember him and Coach having a little grudge
Well,
from their season 27 seasons ago.
You brought up Coach, though. I was not a Coach fan when he was there. This guy talks all about his, honor and his dignity and all that. And at every turn, he's like, well, that's not really an honorable thing. But I'm not a big fan of his. I don't know where you're at on that. I like Ozzy.
I think he showed his true colors when he stole the key on that first Maroon challenge.
See, that's exactly right. So it's like, okay. Anyone else stick out? The one for me, if I can, the gal who won last time, they actually took two people from the last Survivor, right? So, Savannah and what was the other cat's name? The dorky kid, Rizzo.
Oh, yes.
So they took her, Rizzo, and the gal who actually won, and I think it was like 3 weeks. They go from one production to the next in 3 weeks. So they both spent an entire trip on, Survivor Island and literally came right back. Two things. One, at least Savannah has $1 million, but Izzo, do you have no life? Could you just take months upon months off?
Well, I think he's a smart cookie. And I love the fact how he just loves his parents. And when him and Colby first got together, I know Colby wasn't a fan of his. He was annoying and talks too much, but then they just talked and, they've got a bond now. And I like that. That's
cool. I thought some of the challenges were interesting. Like they had the three guys go to an island and then one of them's like, you get to go home. You're not playing. Then the other two got to play, and then and everybody has to figure out, what do you say? You go there as a special guest to try a challenge, and then you're sent back without doing a thing, and you tell people that, they're thinking you're lying.
Well, yeah, and they do.
Well, that's my point, but even if you're not lying, you say, I didn't get to play, they don't believe you. So, I mean, it literally sets people up to be in a bad spot, even if you're telling the truth.
Everybody back at the camp, they're all talking and you're missing out on all that stuff.
So I think this is going to by doing that, they're going to make wanting to go on those things less enjoyable, right? People are going to say, I don't know. I can get shafted even if I don't win anything. So I kind of like that twist in it. One of the big things in the game was the big, tall, skinny guy. You'll probably remember names. The tall, skinny guy, he tries to race up that wall, and when he came down, you thought he twisted his ankle, but it was more than that.
Or you're talking Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I kind of liked the kid. I thought he was a decent player and a nice kid. And for folks who know, the whole team had to climb up a wall. And so he's lifting people and throwing them up the wall. And he runs up real high. And then he came down awkward. Well, we find out before the show's over that he blows an Achilles tendon.
Yeah, he was going to be a good companion for Q.
See, you remember the names. That is, yes, for Q. But how, I mean, I get they can't keep him playing, but how emotional is that? You just gave up your life. You just went out there and you spent exactly 3 days on the island, and now you got to go home because you might be lame if you don't go get a doctor to fix this thing.
Well, I think he understood the severity of his injury, and he just got married too, so, I mean, continuing on with that Achilles tendon tear is not going to be good for him. So
let's go with the marriage thing. These people all tell you their sad stories, right? This is a self-inflicted sad story. Is getting invited to Survivor a second time for him enough to say, honey, I know we're newly married, but I'm taking the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? That's not a sob story. You made a really questionable call.
Well, it's not just getting married like on Christian. He just had a baby boy. And now he's leaving too and missing out. But he's also looking at the prize.
No, I get it. And 1 in 24 gets it. Okay, I'm going to put Survivor Brenda on the line because I know she loves her children. You go back to when your children were just born. Would you allow your husband and or you to jump out because of a 1 in 24 shot to play in a game on TV? This is a fake obstacle they put in their own way. I don't feel sorry for you. You made a call. I don't think I'd make the call. Would you make the call, Brenda?
Back when I had my children, I wasn't much of a risk taker.
Well, okay, but they obviously are. But that's my point. You can't tell me that's your big sob stories. I'm missing my kid that I just had. Stay home. Someone else would have filled those shoes.
But Christian, he is smart. I'm anxious to see how he does in the show.
Now, do you think they'll bring that Kyle back again because of the busted thing? I mean,
no.
How do you? Not this season, but does he got a free ticket to come back in season 55?
You never know.
Yeah. Well, you do. Cherie's been on 5 times. Let me do this. You and I are fans. There's a 330-some million people in the U.S. Why are we recycling old guests?
I don't know. There's a lot of people that would love to be on the show.
Here's what I think, and I could be completely nuts. I think you have to go through some pretty mental tests to find out if you're even compatible to do something like this. I find it weird more people don't tap out when you haven't eaten for 5 days and they want you to do a game. And, you know what I'm saying? I think they must have a mental standard.
Yeah. But they do eat. I mean, like they showed Ozzy cooking up. It must have been coconut that he was cooking up and they were eating that. You know, they're not without food totally.
Well, not totally, but you get my point. I just don't. There must be a minimum standard. Then they obviously find different personalities. They're always mixing in the huggy feely people with the cutthroat, military guys. They're always doing that. So I mean, there's some limit to that. But with 300 million people, we're stuck with the same. I think they said there were 300 something totals that have been on the Survivor show, something like that. Do you remember the number they said?
No, I don't. But I'm anxious to see how Joe fares too, because I remember was it last season him and that gal kind of had a bond. She had some special needs.
Oh yeah. She was really I want to say Alan, not autistic, but she's on the spectrum, the autism spectrum. She really was, and she had some hard times. And he was. You want to talk about a guy who may not have won the $1 million, but really made himself $1 million move. I mean, I think he was being honest. I don't think it was a move, but he really set himself up as like the ultimate nice guy ever on Survivor.
Yes. And Colby's doing that with Rizzo this time, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I am running out of time, Brenda. I love having you on. We'll watch it this week. We'll get back and bust it down next. Fair enough?
All right. Thank you.
She is Survivor Brenda on the Al Travis Show.